I previously put out the video about 4-day working weeks, how that worked for us at Cove Group, what the trial period that we did over a couple of years looked like, what the outcome was, and started listening to what other people were saying very much in terms of their experience about 4-day working weeks. And off the back of that, I spoke to some employees and I spoke to some employers, and we were discussing 4-day working weeks and a reduction of hours and pay, and it naturally brought us into this conversation about pay and salaries and expectations, but more importantly, it brought us into a conversation about understanding and awareness. And I guess where that comes into is how much somebody gets paid on paper versus what they actually get paid in the bank versus what a company actually pays out. So I'm going to break that down very quickly because I find it fascinating and I find it really interesting in terms of what that looks like. And I think not enough people appreciate both sides of that and what actually happens in the middle. So let me take you through it. If you are on a 30K salary per annum, that's not what you're going to get paid. By the time we take off the employee side, so we take our employee, you are going to have to pay your national insurance, your tax, your pension. That is going to come in somewhere in the region of about 20%, which means your take home, oh, I did that really weirdly, is going to be about 25K, give or take. It's going to be about 25K. On the other side of this coin, we've got our employer. Hoping my pen's going to last out. We also have to take into consideration national insurance, pensions, holiday allowance, and we also have processing. So we have all of those fees in there as well. I'm just going to switch pens. That to us generally is give or take about 20%. So what we actually spend, or let's say what the cost is to us, is going to be about 36K per annum. So once we come down to this, we have an 11K difference. Where does that go? Goes to Gov. So what happens to that 11,000 in the middle? And to me, that is the £11,000 question. Some of it goes into pensions, which is going into people's retirement, obviously. And the rest of that is all going into taxes to the government. Now, what are they going to do with that? That is a question I can't answer. I wish I could, because I think if I could, I'd be far further ahead in life than I am. But what I would say is, in my experience, I'm not wholly convinced it's spent overly efficiently. Just in a really tight synopsis, you can have a salary of £30,000, but you will only get paid £25,000 after tax, national insurance, pensions. As an employer, we pay £30,000, but once we take into consideration national insurance, pensions, and all the other costs of employment, we're going to pay £36,000. That £11,000 in the middle, it's all going to the government.